Hello, world. Welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. Hello, world, and welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. We're broadcasting live from the Joy Virtual Studio right here in the beautiful Finger Lakes region of New York State. It's so great to be with all of you today. It is Thursday, April 23rd, and of course, we're broadcasting live from Rumble, from YouTube, Twitter, Spreely, Roku TV, Apple TV, Facebook, Substack. Great to see all of the live viewers and everyone who is popping on to the chat. Good afternoon to all of those live chatters on Rumble. CM1968, I see you as the first chatter on Rumble. Future as, great to see you. Ollie Robin 9, I see you on the live chat as well. Future as, Zayada, and Be My Valentine. We have a big show for all of you today. You see the headline of the Shannon Joy Show today. We should not fear the tyrants. The tyrants should fear us. Very often on this show, we talk about all the bad things that are happening, all the bad guys who are out there, the tyrants who are lying, cheating, stealing, completely corrupt. What they have planned for humanity in the 21st century by 2030 will own nothing and be slaves. And so there's a lot of effort, a lot of discourse about bad things, the bad things that are coming, and the bad guys who are perpetrating those bad things. I am ready to pivot to solutions, not exclusively. We do need to warn about what is coming financially, in terms of liberty and the digital technocracy. There's a lot happening politically, culturally, and in terms of geopolitics with all of these wars that we're engaged in. And so, of course, we're going to continue to analyze the news and prepare all of you for what is coming. But we can't just sit around complaining, afraid every single day of what is going to come down the pike and lamenting how bad these rulers are and how corrupt our politicians and our leaders are. We have to figure out how to do something. I'm a get it done kind of gal. And so there's only so much of the lamenting that I can take before I'm going to want to get into action mode. And there's something that every American can do from their own corner of the world, according to their own unique talents and abilities from across the country, to pursue and secure liberty in the next 10, 15, 20 years. And I'm talking to you if you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, independent, conservative. Every American is beginning to understand, I think, that both of these political parties are literally driving this country, or figuratively driving this country, off a cliff. And so we have to pursue these conversations. And in the next few weeks and months, we are going to be pursuing these conversations. But first, I think it's a demeanor, right? And there's a great piece that we're going to look at today in just a little bit, entitled, "We Should Not Fear the Tyrants. The Tyrants Should Fear Us." It was written by Caitlin Johnston, and it was pushed out by Catherine Austin Fitz over at the Solari Report. And I want to go through a very short essay. I've linked it in the show notes of today's show so that you guys can grab it as well and push it out. It begins to discuss our posture as Americans, as citizens, as free people who are endowed by our Creator with inalienable rights that are not given to us by men or institutions or political parties or political movements or corporations. These are rights that we have bestowed by God, period. No one can take them away. And we have to begin to exercise this type of posture and remember who we are as a people so that we're not afraid. And so there are a lot of ways to do that. There are a lot of ways to resist. I want to hear from all of you today on the live chats. If you're watching on Substack or YouTube or Twitter, please say hello. Annie Cyrus is producing the Shannon Joy Show today. She's going to be keeping an eye on all of the chats. So please place your comments and or your questions in those chats. It's a great way for us to pump up those algorithms. Every time you give this show a like or a follow or a subscribe or a comment, or you join the live chat, this is how we grow the show every day, and we do it organically. So welcome, welcome, welcome to our YouTube and Substack audiences that are growing by leaps and bounds. I see you, Sharon, on YouTube. Great to see you. Good afternoon to everyone. Many blessings. Hey, Winston Smith on YouTube. Great to see you. None are more hopelessly enslaved than those who falsely believe that they are free. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. Thank you, Winston. It is a true quote. And we have to remember what it means to be free, and what it means to pursue liberty, and what it means to live our life from a position of power and not fear. And that's really what they are pummeling us with on a daily basis, from every angle, the left-wing angle, the right-wing angle. I mean, the doom scrolling is unbelievable. This is why young people, Gen Zers, Gen Xers, millennials, and whoever else is out there, all the young people are beginning to turn off the social media because it's relentless. And I experience it every day in show prep. Unfortunately, I can't put my head in the sand. I have to look at the headlines every day. And I mean, apocalyptic doesn't even describe what we see on a daily basis. And I do believe that tough times are coming. Make no mistake. But I also believe that there is a lot of money and power to be gained by keeping people in a perpetual state of anxiety and fear, fearful of one another, fearful of some unknown, fearful of the other shoe dropping, the zombie apocalypse, an alien invasion, right? Global, worldwide famine, World War III, atomic bombs, all of the things. I mean, every single day, they are destabilizing us through those headlines. And so we have to be sober-minded, acknowledge real risks, prepare for them, and then move forward in complete power with no fear. Every one of us is going to kick the bucket, okay? Every day could be the last day for each and every one of us. It could be because of some global, worldwide pandemic, or you could walk out the front door and get hit by a bus. I mean, every day we are taking a risk when we engage in life, and we have to remember that because there's an energy that you put out. There's an energy of fear, and there's an energy of power, and an energy of faith and hope. And too often we are mired in the energy of fear and anxiety and anger and hatred and division. We got to get out of that. I might sound Pollyanna today a little bit, but I really believe this. Like, your spirit, your mind, what you speak out into the universe is very powerful, incredibly powerful. And sometimes when we are resisting or engaging in activities of resistance, and there are a million that we can go over today, I want to hear from you about how you think you could resist, or how you see resistance being practiced effectively in your corner of the world, right? Very often when we are in the process of resisting, we want to see results. People go into it because they want some kind of perceived win or victory. I've always thought that just the act of organizing, the act of resistance, the act of speaking out from a position of power and zero fear, right? You know, that in and of itself is powerful. Relationship building, human bonding, gathering email lists and signatures. And we're doing that right now. I feel so good right now, by the way, in this pursuit. As you know, I'm running for Lieutenant Governor of New York State alongside Libertarian Larry Sharpe, who is running for Governor of New York State. We are attempting to secure a ballot line in the next 5 weeks. And I just love the process of getting out and talking to people and gathering signatures. There's an energy there that I can't quite put my finger on, but it's meaningful, you know. And I always wonder, you know, they spend so many billions of dollars and so much time and energy, right? The bad guys who would like to suppress human liberty in the 21st century. I mean, millions, if not billions, billions, if not trillions of dollars to lie and deceive and propagandize and run psyops. I mean, it's the most sophisticated operation you can imagine and incredibly expensive. Why would they do that if they could just crush us in a second, right? If they were so powerful and they could actually seize everything and surveil everyone and collapse our economy and collapse our dollar and enslave all of us, why don't they just do it? They probably don't do it because they can't do it, because they don't have our consent. It's all about propagandizing us and manipulating our minds so that we willingly and voluntarily go along with the evil they perpetuate. And so the power is in waking up and changing your mindset and then getting active in your own community. And I want to spend more time on that on the Shannon Joy Show as we move forward. So let's try to get a healthy balance there, right? What do you think of all of that? We're going to talk about this today. You can see in the show notes, it's time for Americans to stop being afraid, passive, and compliant. And today we're going to have a full discussion on what resistance to global techno-fascism and the surveillance state looks like in America, and how each and every citizen can do their part in this epic battle for liberty in the 21st century. We're also going to bring in an amazing friend and sponsor of the Shannon Joy Show, Tina Blanco. She is unbelievable, and she has committed her life to freedom through preparedness. She's the president and founder of the Satellite Phone Store. They're sponsors of the Shannon Joy Show. They've been with me for almost 3 years. And that discussion on preparedness, I mean, she's just a wealth of knowledge and information. And in terms of just an amazing spirit, Tina is right there. So we're going to bring Tina in about 35 minutes, 40 minutes here on the Shannon Joy Show to discuss what that does look like. Everything, Tina is, again, obsessed with preparedness. So satellite phones, generators, Faraday, equipment, you name it, they have it over at the Satellite Phone Store. And so I'm looking forward to seeing Tina. I haven't had her on in about a year. So it's going to be a really great conversation there. We also have a lot of housekeeping to get to. I have really critical information for all of you for the Sharp Joy for Governor petition mission that is happening right now. So stay tuned for just a couple minutes, and I'm going to let you guys know how you can get involved. If you are in New York State, let's go. Let's do something in the next 4 weeks. We can secure 45,000 signatures. We actually need 60,000, but the requirement is 45,000. I know we can do it. There are teams forming across New York State that are going out into the community, and they are gathering signatures so that we can get on that ballot. I'm going to let you guys know how you can get involved in all of that. But I do want to go back to you guys and take a couple of your comments. Hey, Substack. It's great to see all of the Substack viewers. Mark the Honor Seeker. Good morning, Shannon. Totalitarianism was the charismatic man to grow and be free. Interesting. I think you missed a word there, Mark, but I'm glad that you're watching on Substack. Please make sure that you subscribe to the Shannon Joy Show on Substack and share. Wolfgang XL Watson is with us on Substack as well. Trillions of dollars stolen from the workers, from we the people. On YouTube, Buffalo Al Ash, great to see you. On YouTube, awesome. On the buses, first time I see you on YouTube. Ooh, we are having a protest in Edinburgh, Scotland this Saturday over digital ID. Let's go on the buses. I love it. With a little beer. One of my rules for resistance, I have them actually. I have 11 rules for resistance. I should rustle them up somewhere. If any of you have them, if you guys have been with me for 13 years and any of you have my rules for resistance, I used to do shows on resistance. I've done every type of political thing that you can imagine outside of the two-party political system. And I did have rules for resistance. And one of the rules involved having fun, like have fun when you do it. So have a beer, meet up at the pub, do fun things, and resist with friends, right? Because no one wants to be out all by themselves, miserable and afraid. Like, make sure that you're out there and you're having a good time, and that energy is definitely contagious. So on the buses, and to all of our Edinburgh, Scotland viewers, welcome to the Shannon Joy Show. So glad that you are here. Hey, Honor Seeker, I see you on the live chat on Rumble. Mod Trend is with us as well. And if you guys have questions or comments today, I want to ask you this question. What does resistance look like for you? How can you envision resistance to the two political parties, the rigged electoral system, especially nationally, and the techno-fascists? I want to see your ideas here for sure. So before we get to my campaign update, and then we're going to look at two pieces. We should not fear the tyrants. The tyrants should fear us. I love this piece. We're going to get into that. But I do want to mention Freddie and Delvis Montero. If you guys remember, and if you scroll down in the show notes of the SJ show, you will see right under our petition effort, please consider supporting Delvin and Freddie Montero through prayers and donations. And I have a Give, Send, Go link on the show notes, and Annie's going to pop it into the live chat. If you guys remember, as you know, every year I host the Summit for Truth and Wellness live right here in Rochester, New York, and we bring in some of the most brilliant doctors and scientists and thinkers in the world for sometimes a multi-day event or a full-day event. And Delvis Montero is the wife of Freddie Montero, and they came to our summit where we featured Dr. William Mackis, who gave a blockbuster presentation on curing cancers using ivermectin and fenbendazole, among other alternative treatments. We also featured Sasha Latipova with another blockbuster presentation, by the way, which we will be pushing out at some point. Sasha is going to be with us next week on the Shannon Joy Show to talk about gain of function research and weaponized viruses, and do they even really exist? What is making people sick? What is causing cancers? And Sasha's presentation looks at injections exclusively. What if everything that we've been hearing about the food, the air, and the water, our clothing, poisoning us and causing all types of chronic diseases, including cancers? What if that was all false and the culprit was really mass injection going back over 100 years in the US and in Western democracies across the globe? Sasha's presentation, unbelievable. We're recreating that next week on the Shannon Joy Show. She's going to come in and spend a full hour and a half with me to go over this. It's incredibly important. And this concept is now leading many scientists and doctors who signed the Great Barrington Declaration to ask that their names be removed. Because the Great Barrington Declaration, while it was a great document in the dark days of 2020 that was in opposition of worldwide global lockdowns, forced masking, social distancing, and eventually forced vaccine, right? There was a critical, some say, falsehood in that acknowledged and accepted that this deadly worldwide pandemic even existed in the form of a virus. And so this is an interesting topic, and we're going to delve into it headfirst with Sasha Latipova next week. But my heart was touched at the summit by Delvis Montero, the wife of Freddie, who just wept and wept, and she had me in tears. They came to the Summit for Truth and Wellness to learn about alternative treatments for cancers because her husband, Freddie, was diagnosed with stage 3 colorectal cancer, and then it quickly progressed to stage 4. And he's a very young man, 36 years old. They pursued all of the normal treatments. They saw the oncologist, the typical radiation, chemotherapy. But Delvis had the sense, a very uneasy sense, that the medical doctors, when it was determined to be stage 4, the oncologist, the team, seemed to have given up. She could tell that they had given up on her husband, and she was not ready to stop fighting. And she was came to that summit to fight for her husband, and just absolutely touched my heart. She has a give. I encouraged her to set up a Give, Send, Go to help pay for the natural and alternative treatments. They began a course of ivermectin and I believe mebendazole as recommended by a doctor that they are working with that uses the MACIS protocols. And we set up the Give, Send, Go a couple weeks ago. Just this audience, all right? It's just this audience. So many of you have donated. And I have really great news. First and foremost, for those of you who have donated to Freddie and Delvis, thank you from the bottom of my heart. What a wonderful spirit both of them have. And this is helping them to pursue treatments that are working. I want to read this to you. I got a text message from Delvis late last night, and I just want to let you guys know that everything you do matters, right? This is a form of resistance. This is a form, exiting the medical industrial complex, healing ourselves, pursuing natural treatments, alternative treatments. Americans who are becoming healthy, right? Like, this is one form of resistance that anyone can do. And this is what Delvis wrote to me, and I just want to share it with you because it's amazing. Hi, Shannon. We hope you're well. Just wanted to say hi and give you a quick update on Freddie. With the money that has been donated so far, we've been able to afford vitamin D shots for 6 weeks and 2 high-dose vitamin C sessions, as well as 5 sessions of hyperbaric oxygen therapy. These therapies have helped boost his immune system and have given him so much energy in these last few days. He's been taking the ivermectin and mebendazole, and we are still working our way up to the full dose recommended. We recently went to the oncologist and asked to see his CEA cancer marker levels. And since the last one done, it went down from 15.9 to 7.5 yesterday. This is awesome and a good indicator that things are working. Praise Jesus. Praise Jesus. She said, we continue to pray and trust in the Lord, and I truly believe this will work. Again, thank you for your help. You've been a blessing. All of you have been a blessing to Freddie and Delvis. And I can't tell you how amazing that was to hear. So I want to encourage you, any dollar amount, $5, $10, or even prayer for Freddie and Delvis as they pursue these alternative treatments, along with the oncologist recommendations. It's usually a complementary type of treatment. To those of you who contributed, thank you, thank you, thank you. And to those of you who would like to contribute, Annie is going to push into the live chat on all of our platforms, if she can do it, this link so that you guys can go and bless Freddie and Delvis. The title, Freddie or Delvis put together a beautiful kind of overview of their story. And the title is, Do You Believe in Miracles? And Delvis does believe in miracles. So let's go, right? Let's just wrap this couple in our prayers and our support and see if we can't help them to pursue those treatments. So I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. And we're going to keep that up for quite some time. I'm going to be keeping in touch. And by the way, thank you to Simone Gold. I've never had Simone Gold on my show, but Gold Care is, I believe, her medical. It's basically a telehealth company. And Simone's not a sponsor of the Shannon Joy Show, but I do believe they are using one of the practitioners through Gold Care. And so I want to thank Simone Gold, Dr. Simone Gold, and everything that she is doing there as well. So we're going to keep an eye on all of that. Second thing, and then we're going to come back. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back and we're going to get into living without fear. We should not fear the tyrants. The tyrants should fear us. That is the theme of today's show. And that is the theme that I really want to focus on moving forward, as we are just mired in the most insane dystopian, anxiety-ridden headlines. Like, it really is unbelievable to live in the United States of America today and to be bombarded with so much fear propaganda. They want us to fear them. We need to stop. And so we're going to go through these pieces in just a moment. Be my Valentine. Thank you. Appreciate you. But I also want to let you guys know, everyone has been asking me how they can get involved in our petition process here, as Larry Sharp and I begin, well, we haven't begun, we're already doing it, as we begin to secure the necessary number of signatures to put us on the ballot under the independent line for the race for governor of New York State in 2026. So I'm going to give you guys I spoke with Patrick Corrigan yesterday. He is the Western New York organizer, and they have like meetings every Wednesday. There's a whole list of events that they are going to be going, that we're going to be turning people out. We need volunteers, as many volunteers as possible, to go to events that have large crowds and lots of people. And we're going to go out and we're going to just get a ton of signatures. It's super easy to do because you can be a Democrat, Republican, Independent, blank no party, Working Families Party, or even in the Conservative Party. You can sign our petition because we're going for that independent line. And so we have almost 24 events, 36 events lined up for just the next couple weeks. And so if you want to get involved and join the team, I want you to send an email, write this down. And again, Annie, if you could pop this up in all the live chats. This is also included in the show notes of the Shannon Joy Show. pcorrigan44@yahoo.com. So that's P for Patrick, Corrigan44@yahoo.com. It's CORRIGAN for all of you who are listening on the SJ podcast. So we're going to be, this Sunday, I'm going to be out. I might do a couple more. So keep an eye on my Facebook page and my Twitter, because when I go out and petition, I'll try to let you guys know. But we are locked in this Sunday, April 26th, from 12 to 3 p.m. on Park Avenue, which I spent 10 years. I lived in New York, or I lived in Rochester, in the Park Ave area for about 10 years. So I love Park Avenue. It's at the 7-Eleven, public place with tons of parking. We're going to be setting up a table. We're going to have a team of people, and we're going to be gathering as many signatures as we possibly can. We're also going to have a bunch of signature sheets there that we can give you. So if you want to grab some sheets and then go out yourself and, hit up your friends, family, at church. If you own a business and you want to set out a sheet in your business, I'll personally deliver it to you. So if you're in the area, anywhere in the Rochester area, let me know. We want to get you guys involved, and I'm going to be out there meeting all of you, and I cannot wait. So this Sunday, 12 to 3 p.m. at the 7-Eleven, love it, on Park Avenue. I used to buy a lot of beer and cigarettes at that 7-Eleven. I mean, back in the day, right? Not anymore, never, never. But back in the day when we were tearing it up on Park Avenue, I remember that 7-Eleven. So we're going to be there, and I want to see all of you. So I will give you some updates. I'll remind you tomorrow. By the way, tomorrow we are going to do campaign headquarters with Larry Sharp to give you some updates as well. So again, pcorrigan44@yahoo.com. Send him an email, and he's going to get you plugged in with everything you need to get started on these petitions. All right. So when we come back, we are going to get into this piece that I think is really important. We should not fear the tyrants. The tyrants should fear us. And we're going to talk to Tina Blanco in just a bit on the SJ show as well about preparedness and preparing for whatever it is. World War III, the zombie apocalypse, the alien invasion, nuclear bombs, worldwide famine, you name it. I mean, the power goes out. We have a cyber attack, an EMP, you name it. Tina Blanco knows what to do. All right. She is the queen of preparedness, and she's going to be with us in just a little bit right here on the Shannon Joy Show. Keep it tuned. We'll be back in a minute. But I do want to talk about parasites. So, as you know, there's been a big medical hack of 2025. Everyone's talking about parasites. In fact, my husband, devastatingly handsome Dr. Joy, was recently talking about parasites as well. It's one of those topics that just has not made its way into the mainstream conversation about why we get sick, right? You go to the doctor and it's either a virus or a bacteria or a virus, but you never hear a doctor ever saying, well, maybe it's a parasite, right? So there's a lot of emerging research on this. And one of the best thing that's happened in 2025 was several peer-reviewed studies that identified direct connections between anti-parasitic medications having off-label benefits, fighting a variety of cancers. So this makes a lot of sense. The connection between tumor growth and parasites has been known for years. Now, while currently the CDC remains silent, they have admitted, finally, that millions of Americans are suffering from parasitic infections that often go undetected or undiagnosed. This is why Dr. Peter McCullough, Chief Scientific Officer over at the Wellness Company, and the world's most published cardiologist, says, quote, these studies make a clear case to do at least one medical grade parasite cleanse every single year. And the TWC parasite cleanse is the real deal. This is not your mother's cleanse. This is not some supplement. This is an amazing product. It is the Wellness Company's proprietary USA compounded ivermectin plus mebendazole. It is a doctor prescribed gold standard combination dose, and it's designed to help the body eliminate parasites plus a lot of other incredible benefits. Each bottle contains 90 capsules, and it's enough to complete a 21-day cleanse. So the formula cannot be found at your local pharmacy. There's no equivalent out there. But the Wellness Company removes all of that red tape by making the process fully digital. So all you have to do is fill out a quick intake form. A doctor will review the form, and your medical grade parasite cleanse will arrive to you within a week. So this is a once a year cleanse. It is worth every penny, and it's time for people to get healthy and pay attention to the parasites. So head to twc.health/joy right now. twc.health/joy. That is my landing page. If you use the promo code JOY, that's JOY, they're going to take $60 off your parasite cleanse. Plus, they're going to give you free shipping. That is only at twc.health/joy. That is twc.health/joy. Annie has popped up the QR code in the corner of the screen. You can click on that or just hover your phone over it to go right to my site and enjoy a very special gift for the SJ audience, $60 off plus free shipping on every order when you use the JOY promo code. And by the way, use the JOY promo code every time you shop at TWC. If you're already plugged in, you're already using some of their products, make sure you use that JOY code so they know I sent you. At 123.com/joy. Everything that you're going to need for preparation: generators, solar panels, Faraday products. If you want to disappear and protect yourself from the surveillance state, they have an entire line of amazing Faraday products called dark bags. They're always 10% off at the satellite phone store if you go to sat123.com/joy. That is sat123.com/joy. The satellite phone store has supported the Shannon Joy Show for many years. They are amazing partners, and let's help the companies that help keep the lights on here at the Shannon Joy Show. So if you are in the market for any of their products or services, make sure you use that promo code JOY and go to sat123.com/joy. That's sat123.com/joy. Hey everyone, I am so proud to recommend Shift Gold to this audience as the gold standard for metals purchasing and investing. I couldn't ask for a better partner to help people understand gold and silver and use them as strategic instruments to protect their family's financial future. Peter Schiff's teaching on markets has shaped my understanding of how economies grow and why they collapse. And I've used them as a critical source for my daily broadcast for over 10 years. The Shannon Joy Show audience already knows and loves Peter because he has been such a treasured educator over the years. He is now the preeminent source for rock solid financial analysis around the world. And this is because he understands the immutable laws of natural markets and his stalwart unwillingness to veer from absolute truths, regardless of economic fads and political pressures. Bottom line, he doesn't sell out. And that means a lot to me. I trust Shift Gold, and you can too. Go to shiftgold.com/joy today to get started. You'll find some of the lowest spot prices for gold and silver and critical information on protecting your retirement savings with a gold or silver IRA. That's www.shiftgold.com/joy. Hedge against the chaos with our friends over at Shift Gold. Welcome back, everyone, to the Shannon Joy Show. We're so thankful for our sponsors at the SJ Show. If you're in the market for any of the goods or services or any of our sponsors, please patronize them because it helps to keep the lights on here on the Shannon Joy Show. By the way, speaking of sponsors and ivermectin, I can't tell you what a miracle drug I am beginning to believe ivermectin is. The only way that I've used it in my life has been through the ivermectin cream. And I will tell you, I've had like rosacea and like these red bumps like on my nose and through my cheeks and around my mouth for well over a year. And I've tried a lot of things. It's just one of those things of getting older and aging or whatever, menopause, I don't know. But I use the ivermectin cream and it's literally cleared everything up within a couple of days. And now I've gone down. I don't even need to use it as much. I only need to use it like once a week or twice a week. I'm just like blown away by how well it works. And I do think that everyone should have ivermectin in stock. They should have tablets for whatever reason, whether it's a virus. There are so many ways as an antiparasitic. I mean, ivermectin is a multi-purpose tool for health. And I'm thrilled that the wellness company has an amazing, amazing sale on ivermectin. As you know, maybe you don't know this, but a good percentage of ivermectin is actually produced, manufactured in China, and then shipped to the United States of America. And the team at the wellness company was not okay with that. They wanted to provide to their customers American-made ivermectin that was made right here in the good old United States of America, safe, trusted, tested, and produced locally in Florida. So as you know, ivermectin has been prescribed globally for more than 30 years. It has won a Nobel Prize. And after the success in treating COVID, people have found a lot of ways to use ivermectin. It's a wonder drug. And as I mentioned, it can help from everything from rosacea to arthritis and even cancers. So right now they're running, sometimes some of these companies can charge a lot, up to $5 a tablet for 12 milligrams. The wellness company right now is offering a higher milligram, 18 milligram dose for just $3.50 per tablet. You'll get a 6-month supply of 84 tablets, and it's at an unbelievable price. But you have to use the Joy promo code so you can support American-made medicine, Patriot doctors, and not China's supply chain. So right now, go to twc.health/joy. That's twc.health/joy. Use the code JOY to save $30, and they'll also give you free shipping. So not only are you getting the $3.50 per tablet rate, you're getting an additional $30 off and free shipping. So it's only with the Joy promo code. We're super thankful for our friends over at the wellness company, amazing sponsor of the Shannon Joy Show. So let's stop being fearful. What do you say? I know I've teased this on the show. I saw this piece and it really resonated with me as someone who is probably more relentlessly pummeled with the doom scrolling and the doom propaganda and the psyop because of the nature of my job. But I know in talking to regular people, even my children, my daughter and my son who are engaging on social media, I think it's ubiquitous. I think that all Americans, and I do think that we Americans are some of the most heavily propagandized in the world right now because they need to take America out. And they need to demoralize us, divide us, and keep us in a state of fear and anxiety so they can roll out their dastardly plans. And their plans are very dastardly. I have this piece here the grocery gamble. And this is why people should be worried about surveillance. We'll get to that in a minute. This is what they're doing in France, by the way, speaking of dastardly. The French authorities, they are now deploying the military to farms across France to force vaccinate cattle amid what they're calling is a disease crackdown. So France has launched a new mandatory vaccination drive this month against lumpy skin disease, okay, in cattle. It's a viral illness that hit in June of 2025, causing, fever, lower milk yields, completely harmless to humans, right? Completely harmless to humans. And we've seen them do this, the culling of chickens, the culling of cattle in certain cases, right? Like they prop up this super scary virus and they use that as an excuse to really, really severely destroy the food supply and also normalize the government culling of large herds of animals, which I think actually has an ulterior purpose as well. But they're using drone surveillance. So they're flying drones over farmland. Somehow the drones can pick up on whether the cattle are vaccinated or not. I have no idea how that works. But then they're using that. So this is why surveillance is very important, that we shove that back and we resist the flock cameras and the data centers and the street cameras, all of it. We need to get rid of that surveillance. But they're using that to identify the naughty farmers who have not vaccinated. And then they are going in and basically at the point of a gun, force vaccinating their herds. All right. I pushed this out on Twitter, and this is what I think people need to take away from this. I believe that a lot of this, we have to understand and be in the mindset that the people who run things today are very evil. They are the dark triad, which I have here as well, of personalities. And I want to get into that in a minute. I mean, we're talking about very, very wicked, wicked people who don't mind killing millions of animals or killing millions of humans. They look at herds of cattle and herds of pigs in the same way that they look at herds of humans. You and I, our children, the 8 billion, right? The elites and the techno-fascists that govern the globe today have no problem whatsoever with millions upon millions, if not billions of deaths. We saw that during COVID when they force injected poison into hundreds of millions of Americans and billions of people worldwide. So whatever government does today to herds of animals, surveillance, force injecting, and eventually culling, mass killing, I assure you they intend to do to human populations in the future. They're salivating over it. These people have God complexes. They're insane. They're drug addicted. And they're not going to stop until we stop them. And the way that we stop them is to stop fearing them. That is first and foremost. That is the mindset. So we're dealing with very bad people, but we should not fear them. And this was the piece by Caitlin Johnson that I just think is so killer. And I'm probably going to use a lot of it because I think it is so important. The title is "We Should Not Fear the Tyrants, the Tyrants Should Fear Us." She said if there are 1,000 people on an island and one of them began to make life miserable for all of them, there would soon be 999 people living on the island. How strange then is it that today, in the year 2026, a few oligarchs and empire managers get to push around an entire population, a planet full of humans, right? She says, right now we're sitting around hoping and praying that a few sociopaths in Washington and Tel Aviv don't collapse the global economy with their reckless warmongering against Iran. There's so many of us and so few of them. And by the way, 80% of Americans oppose the war in Iran. Every shape and size, male, female, old, young, black, white, liberal, conservative, Democrat, Republican. It doesn't matter. People hate this war, yet they don't care. There are so many of us and so few of them, she says, but everyone's sitting around and saying, oh, golly gosh, I sure hope I'll be able to afford food in the future for the next few months. Hopefully, the orange guy in the White House will act sane for a moment and be normal for a nanosecond so my family can eat. I mean, why are we doing that? She says, these are not gods, and this is what I love. These are not gods sitting on Mount Olympus, exerting omnipotent control over our fate from on high. They are ordinary men with ordinary flesh and bones. They have bodies. They're walking around the same earth that we walk on. They have soft skin and internal organs. Their heads must remain firmly attached to their necks if they're going to continue to draw breath, just like all of us. They put their pants on one leg at a time, like every one of us out there. And yet, somehow, they are permitted, we allow them, through our consent, to terrorize the people with whom they share a planet. She was reminded of a quote from a publication, Scientific American. And this was about an Inuit tribe and their perspective on the problem of sociopaths and psychopaths who get into positions of power and make everyone miserable. And so this piece, she said it was a 1976 study. There was an anthropologist, her name was Jane M. Murphy, and she found an isolated group in the Yupik-speaking Inuits. It was near the Bering Strait, and they had a term that they used to describe these type of people. It was Kunlangeta. And they use that to describe, here's the description, ready? A man who repeatedly lies and cheats and steals things and takes sexual advantage of many women, someone who does not pay attention to reprimands and who is always being brought to the elders for punishment. So just a bad person. Lies, cheats, sexually assaults women or children, right? And is just generally a terrible person. And when she asked them what the group would typically do with someone like that, and they said somebody would have pushed him off the ice when no one else was looking, right? Like, we need to look at these people for who they are. And this is where the dark triad comes in. This is another piece that I thought was really interesting that was pushed out on Twitter regarding the dark triad. It's a combination of personality traits, narcissism, Machiavellianism, and being a psychopath. And those characteristics, which I'll go into in a minute, are necessary for people to wreak horrifying havoc and death and destruction on millions, if not billions of people. And these type of people will go for power. These are the people who are attracted to Washington, D.C. These are the people who are attracted to positions like the presidency and who enjoy controlling and hurting because it feeds this sick, sick desire to have power and to wield power and to act like gods. That's why they want to surveil everything. That's why they cling bitterly to the right to inject you with something against your will. They love it. They love it because it's a symbol of their power. And these people, unfortunately, after 50 years of electoral cycles when we've chosen lesser of two evils, I think we are now in a position in history where a vast majority of the people who are controlling things in Western democracies possess these characteristics, or else they're just puppets for people who possess these characteristics. And they're the tyrants. But we should not be afraid of them. We should push them off a cliff, is what we should do, figuratively speaking, okay? Or maybe perp walk them and put them all in jail. She said, in our society, we don't push these psychopaths off the ice when nobody's looking. In our society, we let them rule the world. Why are we doing that? We have set up systems which elevate those who are willing to do whatever it takes to get to the top and which protect them once they get there. The ones with the most wealth are the ones who crush their competitors and exploit the working class the most ruthlessly. The ones who get elected are the ones who agree to protect the interests of themselves and the rich and powerful, no matter how underhanded they have been. The ones who get promoted to leadership in the military And spy agencies are the ones who've demonstrated unwavering loyalty to the bloodthirsty empire that they serve. These systems shield these people from natural consequences, and we need to stop doing that. She says there's a perversion in our natural order right now. The rich and the powerful should not be allowed to do whatever they want to us and get away with it. They are massively outnumbered. Everything they have because of us, and mainly because we give them our consent. She said their wealth is dependent on we the people. Their power is dependent on our collectively agreeing to treat made up rules about government and law like they're real things. Their lives are dependent on our collectively agreeing not to turn against them in massive numbers and resist. We can have revolutionary change when we want. We already have the numbers. All we need is the will, and we need to find each other. Break out of the two-party political paradigm. Begin to work and organize in our own communities. Refuse the shots. Refuse to comply. Refuse the data centers and the surveillance. Refuse the cameras. Refuse the digital ID. Refuse the digital currency. Use cash. Become emancipated. Become independent. Start by being prepared. Find each other, whether it's a Democrat or a Republican. Doesn't matter anymore. The two parties are in on it together. If we can find each other and adopt this power stance of no fear, no consent, no willingness to submit to their arbitrary and capricious and vicious assaults on humanity and our lives and our children, we can win. We can win. And there are a million ways to do it. So I want to applaud Caitlin Johnson for this piece. We should not fear the tyrants. The tyrants should fear us. It is linked in the show notes of the Shannon Joy Show. And I recommend everyone pull it up, read it again, find your power, no more fear, and begin to prepare. One of the ways that we claim independence and emancipation is through preparedness. And my next guest, the amazing Tina Blanco, I see that we have Jennifer Shores as well in the studio, ready to go. She's okay. She is the queen of preparedness. She is the owner, founder, and CEO of the Satellite Phone Store. Amazing sponsors of the Shannon Joy Show. And we're going to talk about that power stance. It comes through a variety of things. For me, faith in our natural God in Jesus Christ. I mean, that sustains me every day. Faith, and then obedience, and then hard work and preparedness. And we're going to talk about the preparedness part of this in just a minute when we come back with Tina Blanco. So keep it tuned right here. Quick break as we get them set up and ready in the studio. And then we'll come back and we'll conclude the SJ show today. So keep it tuned here. We'll be back in a minute. Please head over to theshannonjoy.com, theshannonjoy.com. This is my independent platform. It is my website. I own it. And the email list that I have created with all of you, those of you who have signed up for the Shannon Joy daily email, it is so important. It's the most critical element in terms of my connection to all of you. Should I be deplatformed on YouTube or Twitter or Rumble or any of the platforms that we are pushed out on today, it is my one line to all of you. It's where I can contact you directly and let you know where to find the show. I will never forget the censorship of 2020. I was permanently suspended on Twitter. I was completely shadow banned on Facebook. I lost the entirety of both audiences in the span of 30 days. In the early days of the Shannon Joy Show, I was completely yanked off of a radio station because I continued to critique Donald Trump, and it was a right-wing radio station. Overnight, I lost my entire platform. Thank God 10 years ago, or was 8 years ago, I had built up a presence on Twitter and Facebook and was able to continue the show until I moved it to another platform, a 50,000 watt radio station just down the road. But I am very familiar with being deplatformed and it happening very fast. That email list is everything. It is my pipeline to all of you. So if you haven't signed up for the SJ email list, please do so today. Go to theshannonjoy.com. That is theshannonjoy.com, and make sure that we're connected. Hey everyone, I just wanted to take a moment to thank one of my longtime friends, associates, my financial advisor, and a beloved sponsor of the Shannon Joy Show, Don Polano over at PCM and Associates. Don Polano, as many of you know, was the very first Shannon Joy Show advertiser almost 12 years ago, and he's been with us ever since. I trust Don Polano. He manages some of my assets and my retirement fund, and he's offering his services to all of you. He can take clients anywhere in the country and even across the globe over at PCM and Associates. And as you guys know, it is so important today. There's so much volatility and chaos. You need a human being, a person that you trust, and a person that shares your values. And that's Don Polano at PCM and Associates. So if you are looking for someone to help you manage your retirement or have investment advice, please consider calling Don Polano over at PCM Associates. His number, 1-800-536-1368. That's 1-800-536-1368. And of course, you can go to pcmpolano.com. That is pcmpolano.com to learn about all of his services and get in contact with his team. Again, so thankful for Don Polano at PCM and Associates, and I think that you are really going to appreciate his services. So that number again, 1-800-536-1368 for a financial advisor that you can trust. I am so proud to be working with Peter Schiff and Schiff Gold in 2026. There is no one that I would trust more to send this audience to in terms of a metals strategy, whether it's your gold and silver physically that you purchase and keep in your home or in a safety deposit box, gold and silver in an IRA, which you can do through Schiff Gold, or even investing in gold mining stocks, which Peter Schiff and his team can also help you with. It is time to get that metals strategy in place. Right now, silver and gold are soaring. Silver is approaching $85 an ounce, while gold is up over $45 an ounce. And people don't see this stopping anytime soon. I know it seems expensive to you, but I don't know that there is a cap to this in the near future. So you can get started now. I want to encourage you guys right now to go to schiffgold.com/joy. That is schiffgold.com/joy. Everything that you need, Peter's analysis, market reports, research reports. You can get plugged into his investment services, physical gold and silver, which we're going to be talking about this month, and also protecting your retirement with a gold or silver IRA. It's all right there at your fingertips on my page, schiffgold.com/joy. Welcome back, everyone, to the Shannon Joy Show. I'm so sorry for that long ad break. We were only going to do one ad break on the SJ Show today. So we did a long one like 10, 15 minutes ago. And we had a few technical difficulties. So we had to go back and run ads. So my apologies to all of you. We wanted to make sure that we could get Tina Blanco, amazing sponsor of the Shannon Joy Show, of the satellite phone store. She is the prep queen, the queen of preparedness here in the US. She's CEO and founder of the satellite phone store. Of course, sat123.com/joy is my landing page. They've been just the most amazing sponsors. Tina, it is so great to see you. How have you been?
Yeah, I've been doing really good. Thank you so much for asking. How about you? I know it's been a few months since you and I have spoken.
Yes, well, we're doing great. You know, we're growing by leaps and bounds. I'm running for lieutenant governor of New York State with my pal Larry Sharp. He's a libertarian. And so we are feverishly trying to collect 60,000 signatures here in New York in the next 5 weeks to get on the ballot under the independent line. So moving and shaking here. Show is growing by leaps and bounds. So we're just doing well. Very thankful for you. I mean, I've told the audience often that you guys have been stalwart sponsors of the Shannon Joy Show, just very consistent. I'm very thankful for all of you. My audience loves your products. They love calling in to the toll-free number. They can always talk to a human. There is such a depth of product line. There's so many ways that people can get started in preparedness. So you are like the AAA. You're like the unicorn of sponsors. So I'm really thankful for you guys. So things are going well.
Yeah, good. I'm so excited for you. That is such a neat and it's going to be such a unique experience, I think, for you. So that is really, really exciting and I hope you win.
Seriously. I
Yeah.
get antsy. This is the thing. I am like a get it done kind of gal. Right. I can only complain about everything for so long. And then I'm like, I gotta go do something. And for me, it's like win or lose. Just the process of talking to people and having these conversations and bringing, the issues that I think are important that no one's talking about to the fore is worth it. So I'm having a blast with it. It's great.
Yeah. When is that the election for that position? Is that also in November?
Yes, yeah. So it's
Oh,
November 2026. And the real difficulty actually is just getting on the ballot. That's the hard part. Once we get on the ballot, there are about 7 different wins that we can achieve, including actually winning, the election. So this ballot process is where the real heavy lifting, but we're going to learn through it too. And if we don't succeed, which we will succeed. But if we don't, we're going to learn a lot from that, and we can replicate it in future sessions. So yeah, it's great. It's great.
yeah. And that's where the 60,000 signatures come in, right?
Yeah, yeah. We
Yeah.
technically need 45,000, and 60 is what we use to be safe. So we'll see if we can do it. We got teams. We've got teams starting up all over. I'm going to be all over Rochester, and I'm going to be getting petitions myself. So it's going to be great. It's going to be great. But I wanted to talk about you guys. Tina, I mean, I guess you're probably glad that you're in the preparedness business right now because, uh, you know, the headlines, like the amount of instability that Americans are dealing with today, politically, culturally, economically, food insecurity. I mean, the headlines that worldwide global famine is coming because of the war in Iran, rumors that the war in Iran is going to escalate to nuclear war. We're hearing about energy lockdowns and cyber attacks and brownouts and blackouts, and it's just pummeling one thing after another. People are very anxious, very fearful, and I've always said we number one, we can't be fearful, and the first antidote to fear is preparation, right? Is being prepared. So I just wanted to, what do you think about everything that's happening in the world today, and how does that play into what you're trying to help Americans do with your company and your business, and you've been helping them, for many, many years?
Yeah. So I think, you know what, all you could do is prepare yourself and your family
Right.
with everything that you can possibly do, meaning, get generators, solar panels, have satellite communication, prep for food, make sure you have enough food, for your family should everything stop and there's no gas to deliver food to the grocery stores. Remember,
Mhm.
grocery stores only have up to 3 days of products in their stores. So
That's
if
wild. That's
yeah, if
wild.
any yeah, if anything happens in transportation with gas or whatever, you really do need to be prepared. If you prepare yourself and your family with everything you can possibly prepare, then you've done everything that you can. The rest is in, God's hand. And that's what I say. Whatever happens, happens. You just got to use your wisdom and do what you can and leave the rest to him. And
Mhm.
he will protect us.
Right. How would you, I mean, what period of time, what would you say would be, let's just do the basics, maybe an average family of four living in the suburbs, right? They can't spread out. They don't have a lot of room. They have limited basement space and attic space, and they, just, existing. They don't have a huge budget. What would you say in terms of getting started for someone with a family of four? How long should they prepare for? I mean, should it be 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months? I mean, what would be a good starting point?
Yeah, I'm a real prepper, so I have food and water and everything for about a year.
Wow.
Because I have grandkids, so I worry about them a lot.
Hmm.
So yeah, if you have grandkids, I think you probably at least a month or two,
Hmm.
because look at if you live in California, if there's an earthquake, the chaos, if there's a major earthquake, the chaos is going to be at least a month.
Hmm.
If yes, maybe for hurricanes, or for bad storms, or for freeze that we saw last year,
Right.
maybe you just need maybe about a week or two.
Hmm.
But I think to be prepared, to be real prepared for anything, and again, I think you're right. If the bad guys attack us, they're not going to attack us with, I don't think they're going to attack us with bombs or anything. They're going to attack our grid. So
Mm.
be prepared for at least a month of not having electricity so that you can keep your family warm, or you can keep them cool if it's in the summertime. Lights on, plug in, your internet, your refrigerator, and things like that. And all of that, these are the products that we do sell. We don't sell food, but I highly recommend for everyone to get food. There's a lot of companies that do food, freeze-dried food that's usually good for like 10, 15 years. And
Wow.
that's kind of like what I do with the food, but also communication. So the cell towers are very fragile. We saw the what happened to AT&T back in January, where in most major cities where you had many days, or I think a week or so, where the phones didn't work. That could happen at any time. But
Right.
satellite phones, Shannon, can't be hacked, because
Mm.
what happens is you take your satellite phone. This is what a satellite phone looks like. You take it outside, you extend the antenna, and then you go direct to the satellite. As long as you're outside, you can make a call from anywhere to anywhere. This
Mm.
works on 100% of the earth, and where cell phones work on about 7% of the earth. So
Right.
you've got 100% of the earth covered. So you can call anybody to anybody. Doesn't They don't have to have a satellite phone. Also, it is the most secured call that you can make. So if you want a private call, or if you want a private message where you know for a fact that nobody can listen in or read, they're
Right.
all encrypted. It's the best text and the best calls from satellite phone to a satellite phone. The text is from satellite phone to a satellite phone. But again, you can call cell phones as well. But on your end, it will be secured, but on their end, it will not be encrypted.
Wow. Well, and it's interesting that you bring up, as I'm literally scrolling every day, right? Just getting pummeled of all the things, all the alien invasion, zombie apocalypse, like all the everything but the kitchen sink. The thing that I think is the most likely, and I get the sense that they are preparing us for the most, is some type of cyber attack. And I don't believe that they're going to be able to do it everywhere at the same time. I mean, that would be extraordinary, but I do think we'll begin to see an amplification of these type of things, what we saw with AT&T happening in largely populated areas and cities across the country. It becomes normalized. There's lots of chaos. They have brownouts and blackouts. And this is when they will, try to use that, against us in some way. So this is why the preparation is so important. And so what you're saying is that the satellite phones are not vulnerable in any way, shape, or form to a cyber attack. So when the computer isn't working, your iPad isn't working, your phone isn't working, this is going to be the only way that you'll be able to communicate with people because it is via satellite.
Yeah, it is. And one of the reasons why, our US military uses iridium phones, pretty much a lot of government organizations, all the security companies, where, should there be any kind of disaster, doesn't the fires in LA
Hmm.
last year, I mean, any kind of disaster, the satellite phone will always work. It
Right.
does not go down because it goes direct to the satellite. There's no middleman for this.
Right.
And a lot of people ask if the whole world's grid went down, and you're absolutely right. The whole world's grid's not going to go down at once, because they are going to attack certain areas to cause chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos will happen when there's no communication on cell phones. People will start to really freak out unless
Right.
you have a satellite phone. But if the whole Earth's grid went down, people always ask me, will the satellite phones work? Right now, they will work up to 30 days should the whole Earth satellite
Wow, that's
power went
amazing.
down. But where I think cell phones, when the grid goes down, when there's like any kind of disasters, it's usually about 24 hours. So
Okay.
the satellite phones will be the last things to ever drop. So that will be the last
How
sort of communication.
how many Americans do you think have satellite phones and how do they use them? Are they predominantly as preventative? They have them in the house, they keep them charged just in case something happens, or are there people who use them all the time, who actually use them instead of their devices? Because I ask you this because just a couple days ago, there was a major study and a major piece done on generations Z and X and millennials and all of these younger generations ditching their smartphones, wanting to ditch their smartphones because of the surveillance, because of the cost, because of the doom scrolling and all that kind of stuff. And there are moving to different types of technologies, older technologies. They want things like flip phones. So I'm very curious, how many would you estimate are really using satellite phones today?
Okay, so majority of the satellite phone users, subscribers are companies.
Okay,
Uh, Government, U.S. military
it's
is
crazy.
one of the largest.
Yeah.
Uh, and then just recently, with our company in the late recent years, we've made it affordable for an average person to use because they're expensive. They're about
Mm.
$1,300, and then it's about $100 a month to maintain them. So what our company has done is we offer them for free
Okay.
for the Iridium phone as long as you sign up for 24 month. I think the 23rd month is our break even. And I
Hmm.
think it's like $95 a month. So it's
Okay.
very affordable.
Okay.
And then after 24 months, you're just month to month. The MRSAT phone, it's only a 15-month agreement.
Okay.
And same thing, the phone is free. And same thing, our break-even point, because this is the Inmarsat phone, it is a little bit cheaper. And the reason why, Iridium phone works on 100% of the Earth, Shannon.
Okay.
Inmarsat phone works on 90% of the Earth. The
Okay.
places that this phone does not work is the North Pole and the South Pole.
Okay.
So if you're in Alaska or in Northern Canada, you probably want to get an Iridium phone. But
Okay.
everywhere else around the Earth, you can get along with this one. It's a 15-month agreement. It's $75 a month. And
Wow.
after that, it's you're just month to month.
Okay. No, that is amazing. And you made a really great point there. The government is using satellite phones. Like they want ultra privacy, ultra reliability. They want it to work no matter what happens, in terms of the grid. And so I think that's a clue to Americans that maybe we should be doing what the government people are doing because what is it that they know that we don't know? That's very important, and the deals are really great. What was I going to ask you about the usage? Oh no, I can't. What was I going to say? I had a question that I wanted to ask you about the satellite phones, and it just left my mind. But what other? So communication, of course, number one, most important. Like we have to be able to. Oh, I was going to ask you about the grid because you mentioned the grid, the here in the U.S. and you mentioned that it was unstable. I was hoping maybe you could elaborate on that, where it's vulnerable in some areas and where you see those vulnerabilities.
Well, I mean, every month we hear some areas that have, like 1 million people don't have electricity for
Hmm.
today. So we're always hearing about this every single month. This year alone, we've heard areas where the grid has been down.
Hmm.
So if you're prepared, if you have a generator and a solar panel, then you don't have to worry about it. You can plug in your refrigerator, your AC, your heater, whatever it is, your electronics, anything you pretty much want, depending on how large of a generator you get. Now we do have a website. It's called beready123.com,
Okay.
and that has all of the generators, and we've marked them down like about 40% off.
Oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, and they come with like the generator comes with the right So we have them in packages where they come with the right solar panel that you would need to keep that generator going. Because if the electricity is down more than a month, you're going to need a way to charge that. So the
Right.
solar panels are included in there, and I think it's like the 220 or the 400. And Shannon, these, even though these are like the 400 watt solar panel,
Right.
anybody can carry it. Like I can carry it. It's less than 50 pounds, which is
Wow.
unheard of because some of the one previously, some of the like even the 50 watt, nobody could carry. But these
Right.
are 400. They're portable. They fold so that you can take them outside, unfold them, let them charge your generators or whatever
Mhm.
electronics. You can charge pretty much anything on them. And then at
Wow.
night you can just fold them back and bring them back inside. So they're very, very amazing.
And so those solar panels can power the generator that can power your home should the electricity go out in the case of a cyber attack or an EMP or something that attacks our grid. That's unbelievable. Now, what if you
Yeah.
live in New York State like me? I'm in Rochester, New York, and it's a little cloudy here. Um, are the solar panels over time, can they just add the energy and then just store it, or will people in cloudier conditions have a little bit more trouble?
Yeah, in a cloudier condition, you will have a little bit more trouble, but your generator will still get charged slowly.
Okay.
There's nothing better than the sun, but if you live in a state where you have nothing but sun, it'd be kind of crazy not to have one of these. And you're
Right.
right, with in New York and some of the areas, it is mostly cloudy, but remember the generator will also keep power. So once it's charged, it's good for a long time
Okay.
unless you use it. So for people that like plug in their refrigerator, you don't need your refrigerator plugged in 24/7.
Hmm.
As long as you don't open a refrigerator, you just need to plug it in for like an hour every
Got it.
have it off for 4 hours. So you manage it well. You can manage your products pretty well.
Okay. And the generators can power not the whole home, but just the necessary aspects, right? Like the refrigerator. What other, what capacity do the generators have that you guys have on Sat 123? Actually, I should just ask you that.
The BeReady123.com. So we do have, there is some that you can power the whole home depending on how much you want to spend. If you
Okay.
if you only want to spend, let's say about $700-800, then you just get the necessity. And that,
Hmm.
by the way, that includes the generator and a solar panel.
That's
If
wild.
yeah, if you want to power like a 2,000 square foot house, the whole thing, or the whole time, I think it's about a $20,000 investment.
Okay.
But it's all on there. They
Wow.
can, you can call and get information and learn more about it. So, and you keep those plug in to the wall so they can stay charged. So when there is an emergency, they're fully charged.
Mm.
To recharge, you charge with the solar.
That's amazing. I did not realize that for as little as 7 or 800, you could effectively power the necessities, right? Just for emergency situation, just for peace of mind. Even if you live in a big house, you could have the capacity to power like your refrigerator and charge your phones and do all that kind of stuff. That's not very much at all. That's amazing. So that's beready123.com where you have all those discounts.
Yeah,
Okay.
beready123.com.
beready123.com is their website. And then if there's anything else that you guys need, like if you're ever shopping, by the way, at the satellite phone store, go to sat123.com/joy and always use my promo code JOY because they'll give you all kinds of discounts. Usually it's like at least 10% off. So that's usually where I send people. What else are you excited about? You have some new products that you have been working on, and I know like prepping is your life. Like this is what you live and breathe. And I just love that about you. You're always coming up with these great new gadgets and ideas and all kinds of things. And we were talking just earlier in the week about some of the things that you're working on. What else do you guys have in the hopper over at Satellite Phone Store?
Yeah, so we've got some new product, but I want to just you had said something before that we didn't touch up on. You said
Oh,
that there are a lot of young people that are ditching their iPhone.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to ditch your iPhone. All you have to do, the reason why, Shannon, people are tired of having their digital footprint 24/7,
Right.
monitored by big tech, by government, by people that want to sell you products. Obviously, if you and I are talking about something, next thing you know, you're going to get a tech, you're going to be shown those ads, and
Mm-hmm.
people are just tired of it, and they're like, well, 24/7, I'm being monitored. Even when you power your phone off, Shannon, for up to 72 hours, you can still be tracked by big tech because they've got a low mode battery. So even if you put your phone on airplane mode, your phone is still being tracked, so they can still get your digital footprint when you have this. Now, the only way that you can completely block off your digital footprint is to get a one of our Faraday bags, and
Mm,
that's also on the website.
yep.
It's on Sat123, or you can also go to darkbags.com. That's one of our websites.
Yep.
And the second that you put your phone in here,
Mm-hmm.
the and lock it up, your digital footprint is completely wiped out.
Amazing.
Nobody can see you. And take a look at the health benefits from this as well.
Yeah.
The EMF is no longer coming to you. This is really important that you put your phone in here when you're asleep, because why not give your body a break from the
Yeah.
EMF, from electromagnetic field, for at least the 8 hours that you are sleeping? So this is what
Yeah.
I recommend people get a Faraday bag to hide their location, to distract from their digital footprint every day for at least 8 hours a day.
Absolutely. I mean, 100%. I use the Faraday beanie and the Faraday sleeves. Phone goes in the sleeve in my drawer at night. EMF and EMF poisoning and EMF radiation is no longer like fringe. It is everyone knows that these frequencies are damaging, that they cause cancers, they can cause all types of illnesses, tinnitus, chronic, all sorts of things. And it's that's just becoming. It's interesting, Tina. When we first started working together, the whole EMF thing was like crazy conspiracy theory stuff. Right now, we have an entire school in California that ripped down a 5G tower because there was a cancer breakout. There's a 5G tower like right on the school campus, right outside of the school, and they had, something like a half a dozen teachers get cancer, and also children getting cancer too. So that was just a headline out of California. The EMF is a real thing. Everyone needs to have a Faraday strategy or some type of strategy to reduce your body's exposure. And I love your idea. Everyone's using their phones. I have to use technology. So do you, Tina. But while you sleep, you can cut all of that out and give your body a break from it, which is just amazing. And the surveillance, to your point, it's not just the megalomaniacs in government, it's corporations too. I didn't get to this piece yet today on the show, but I'm going to go over a little bit more tomorrow. But this was a piece from truthout.org. And at this point, right now, there are corporations that are pricing grocery items at the store based on surveillance. So this is actually linked in the show notes of the Shannon Joy Show. Big companies are using a tactic called surveillance pricing in grocery stores. It's also known as personalized algorithmic pricing. They scoop up your personal data, like your shopping history, location, browsing habits, how much you're willing to pay for certain items, and then they use AI to charge you different prices or higher prices for the same item that they would charge someone else. And the goal is to make money by charging people what the company thinks they are willing to pay, right? So this is how important. People always say to me, it doesn't matter. Why? I'm not doing anything wrong. Why does it matter if people have my data or my information? I don't care about privacy. This is why privacy is important, because they're using your own information against you. And every time your phone is out of the Faraday bag or you're on these social sites, they're collecting that data. And this is just one real example that hits everyone at the grocery store. So if you go to the grocery store, put your phone in the Faraday bag so they don't, so they can't target you. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and Shannon, keep in mind that you could be at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Mm,
And look at what happened in January 6th. A lot of people were innocent. They got a knock on their door just because their phone led them there. Look, if you kept your phone in a Faraday bag, sometimes at least when you're not using it, number one, it protects you from the EMF, protects your
Mhm.
phone from EMP attack, plus it protects your digital footprint. Don't let people
Mhm.
own your digital footprint. And but here's like this is an example, Shannon. This is a crossbody bag.
Okay.
Most people, when they wear a crossbody bag, it's very close to their body. So when you put your phone in there, it is generating radiation to your body.
Right here.
This one has Faraday all around it. The phone will
Mm.
still ring, but it will protect you from the EMF. But it also has a Faraday pocket that completely blocks the radiation and it blocks the signal. It's also good for you to have this back because if you put your credit cards, if you put your passport, you put your key, nobody can scan any of
Hmm.
your information when they get close to you. So your identity cannot be stolen if you have one of these instead of a regular. And these are made really nice. And then also if you any pocket that you put your phone in, the walls of this has EMF, so it protects your body from EMF onto your body when it is inside here,
Yeah.
it's close to your body, even if it's not completely blocked inside the Faraday.
Yeah, that's an amazing product. I have that and I use it at the airport when I'm at the airport or whenever I travel. I should
Yeah.
probably use it more. All of the ladies my age wear the Lululemon crossbody like little thing and they wear it right here, like right over their heart and their lungs. And that is where their phone is sitting and just directing those EMF frequencies, which is just insane. I have to ask you, because you're the
Yeah.
expert on this. I'm seeing all of these medallions, like these little things that people are sticking to their phones or they're wearing on their body. And they basically like take the EMF and change the signal so that it's instead of being zigzaggy, it becomes a natural. Is there any science behind that technology? I'm seeing them all over the internet. And I was wondering, I thought about you when I saw it. I'm like, does this thing really work? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, there hasn't been anything to prove. And we have taken radiation detectors to see if those things work. And sometimes they may reduce them. But I think the best thing for me, the best thing to do, and this is one of the reasons why I don't want to get into that
Mm,
type of technology, is just to completely block the EMF.
block. Yeah.
We have jackets for
Hmm.
women and like for male that you can find on our website, darkbags.com, that have pockets. In the left pocket, you put your phone in it, it blocks the radiation. The right
Amazing.
pocket, the right pocket, it will block the radiation, plus it will block the signal. So you make the
Mm,
choice. If you don't want to be tracked, you want to
hmm.
be completely off the grid, you put it in the pocket that says EMP, also
Yeah.
protect from EMP. And if you just put your phone in your pocket, at least you're not generating radiation onto your organs. And that is one of the best things to get is, but right now we're headed into summer, so a lot of people don't want to wear a jacket. So
Hmm.
this is when you ask me if we have something new. We actually do have something new. And let me see, I want to show you something.
Okay.
This is really, really cool. So see this, I don't know if you can see this. This has dark and then it
Okay.
also has the lighter, the blue. So
Mm,
the black and the blue. The black side goes again. You put your phone in here, the dark side goes against your body when it's in your pocket.
hmm.
See, it fits in the pocket and it blocks the radiation, but the phone will still ring because a
Oh,
lot of people
nice.
receive call, but they don't want the radiation onto their body. Obviously, you know what's happening to
Right.
especially men that are putting a phone in their pocket. They can't, the sperm cell. This is all fact. You can find all that online. It's
Okay.
really in this the sperm count. But one of the things that we did a lot of study on this. We had a lot of people that did the study that are expert in this. The radiation comes from the bottom of the phone, so inside this bag, as if you can see, it leaves this area without Faraday. So this is where the signal, so that the call can be received. But
Okay.
on a Faraday, so when it's sitting in your pocket, it is protecting your body from radiation. And this is kind of soft, so it fits in a pocket really easy. It's kind of
Or
like a,
purse. Yeah.
yeah, that
Well, and
that
that's a big thing. Like you do want to be, yeah, yeah, I have my phone, I have my kids. I want them to be able to call me. So you want that protection, but in your daily life, it's not always reasonable to make your phones completely dark because you want people to be able to get a hold of you. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is great.
Yeah.
Anything else that you're loving?
Yeah, so we do have a couple more things, and I'll share. I know we're running low on time. A
Yep.
couple more things that I want to share. So also, there's a lot of pregnant people around me, that family, nieces and what have you, and I noticed that they put the phone right on their belly or their iPad right on it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, can you imagine?
No,
Because the
right.
bottom of the phone is where the radiation, and here's the baby's head,
Oh
and
my
it
word.
so and then you kind of like wonder, why is autism up so high? Why it's if you have the baby's head on radiation for 9 months, what do you think is going to happen? So we did make one of these that a pregnant woman can wear, and it is all it protects from EMF going on to the body. So
Oh my gosh,
this
can you hold it up a little bit more?
oh
Because I
yeah,
can't see it. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh, how
small,
sweet.
medium, and large, and there's
Yeah.
quite a few layers of radiation because this is protecting the
Yeah,
baby.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so these would be really good gifts to give to any pregnant woman to protect the baby as soon as she realizes she is pregnant. And then also one of my favorite, and this was kind of like personal for me. I love wearing my smartwatch
Yep.
because I want to keep track of my steps because
Yeah.
when I wear it, I do a lot of steps. When I don't wear it, I just don't. It's
Right.
mental.
It's a mental, yeah, it's definitely a psychological thing for sure. I agree.
So, and just like most people, my hand started to hurt, and I
Mm,
couldn't move my hand. I play cards with my sisters, and I couldn't shuffle the cards. So I took the watch out, and then I could shuffle the cards again
mm,
after, my hand healed. And then after a month, I put it back on. Same thing would happen. I'm
it's
like, oh my God,
crazy.
watch is. And then a lot of people started telling me that their hand hurts too, like the hair under the watch is gone. So, it's doing damage, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Never even thought about that. I don't use it. I hate technology.
Yeah.
Literally, I am going to be a girl who has a flip phone. I mean, I am that bad. Like, so I've never even gone down the smart road, but all my friends have them. So the hair underneath the smartphone,
Underneath the watch.
oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's
you
crazy.
notice like it's
Or the
starting to
watch.
fall off. So
Yeah.
so so it's doing damage.
Yeah.
And a lot of people already know that they don't wear it because their hand starts to hurt. Well, we did a wristband, and it's made out of inside, it's made out of organic cotton, so it's
Mhm.
so soft to wear on the hand.
Yeah.
It's really nice. And then inside of it, there's layers and layers of silver and copper material.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
the only thing it will not do is it will not read your heart rate, but it will
Mhm.
do everything else. It will keep your steps, track of your steps,
Amazing.
and everything else. But that will eliminate radiation going onto your body. And I think you can even I think you talked to Dr. Williams.
Yeah.
She'll tell you that a lot of people are starting to get tumors in the areas where the watch sits. So it's just an extra precaution. There's no studies other than, I mean, we did study to show that the radiation does not go into your hand
Sure.
anymore.
Sure.
But there's no studies about nobody's come out and said the damage. I think, I mean, why would anybody do that? Because it would damage
Right.
Apple. And
Right.
so
Right.
I would highly recommend it and then you'll notice. So if you've given up your watch because of pain, if you wear this, it won't come back. It blocks
That's
the radiation.
amazing. That's amazing. And we have to get Dr. Williams on again. She was a show favorite, fan favorite. Um, I mean, holistic, functional medical doctor. She has a practice. She's amazing. So we're going to do that for sure. So if you guys want to shop for any of these items, sat123.com/joy or I think any of your platforms, if you use the promo code JOY, you'll get a discount. Whether it's a generator, a solar panel, a satellite phone, if you want to sign up, they have really, really affordable packages for regular people. It's not just for governments. And then these Faraday products, the EMF blocking, are just unbelievable. So make sure you use sat123.com/joy. And I just saw this. We're going to close up in a second. on the live chat, everybody's really interested in everything that we're talking about. Proctor Surf says this, and we didn't even get to talk about this, but you know what? I could have Brett Miller on because I know that he'll be able to talk about this. Trump is now pushing for 6 and 7G and trying to Operation Warp Speed it, which will be exponentially worse. And Proctor Surf thinks it's part of the transhuman Internet of Bodies. I don't know. Shannon, you got to look into this. Yeah, I'm going to look into this, and we'll look into this on the program. Again, I mean, they are pummeling us with these things, and this is why your work, Tina, is so incredibly important. I
Yeah,
mean, we're being like microwaved by
we
these people.
are. We
It's
are.
insane.
Yeah, and I really feel bad for the children because I see the young children with smartwatches, with cell phones, and they're on their iPad. And I'm thinking, you and I, we've been exposed to this for about the last 7 years, but they're exposed to it from very young age. The cancer is it's like it's going to be unavoidable. It's already starting at younger and younger,
Yes,
and we're going
yes,
to
it
start
is.
seeing cancer in much, much younger generation. And they're just gonna say, oh, you know what, you eat wrong or you do this wrong. Well, you know what, that could be part of it, but I think this EMF is what's really causing a lot of this damage.
Oh yeah, these frequencies. I should do maybe you can recommend to me a really good scientist who's great at explaining because I should do I've done shows on this in the past on the frequencies. I mean, just look at what happens. Look at what a sound frequency can do to a stream of water, right? Like frequencies are powerful. And I don't think people realize all of these machines in the 4G, 5G, 6G, 7G, like everything piled on top of each other uh, at some point something has to give. And so maybe when we're done, you can give me, a really good source because I'd like to do a couple shows on this to get people a good understanding of what we're dealing with here. But in the meantime, uh, get your preparation going and definitely get some of those Faraday products. The dark bags are phenomenal. And I just appreciate you, Tina, for all the work that you've done. Your amazing staff. Again, just a great group of people, an amazing company doing an unbelievable service. Anything else that you want to say before we let you go and close the show?
Yeah, for all these new products, they would need to go to darkbags.com for all the Faraday products, and
Okay.
that's where they're located.
Okay. So darkbags.com is where you're going to go to get all of these products that we just talked about, the new stuff. And then we have a bunch of specials on my platform as well. Well, you just keep up the great work and thank you for everything that you're doing. Love all the products that you're pulling out and we'll have you on again soon. We can't let it be another year. I think it's been a year since I had you on the
Yeah,
show and that's
I agree.
too long, too long. I mean, I don't want to, have you come in too often, but it is great to see you and it's great to talk to you. And even thank you for your really amazing support of the Shannon Joy Show over the years. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Shannon, we did send you some of those new products, so I'd love to get your opinion when you get them and let me know what you think.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right, guys. She is Tina Blanco. She is the president, founder, CEO of the satellite phone store and the queen of prep. I'm making the name right now. She's done amazing stuff. And again, it's a great company. So thank you guys for being with us today. Really appreciate all of you. And yes, we'll have Dr. Bashima Williams on again. I see you. Guitar Lily, she's great. It's not, a lot of these guests, I just get so busy and it's just connecting and getting them scheduled. And I do all of that on my own. And so it really is mainly just because I just forget and I don't have time. But she's amazing. And I know Brett Miller is awesome. But we need to do like a deep dive. I need to get a scientist. I need to get someone who really knows what they're talking about to try to put together all of this stuff with the 4G, 5G, 6G, 7G. I also want to get Dr. Clayton Baker in on the SJ show because he's been covering and he's awesome. He's been on the show a million times. He's been covering the geoengineering, what we're seeing in the skies, the spraying, and he's doing some really great work as well. So yes, Future Ez, take care everyone, stay healthy, stay blessed. Get your phone in the Faraday bag. Get your generator. Again, $700 for peace of mind. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Ollie Robin 9, thanks for being with us today. Ranger 1791, appreciate you. Um, LT Oracle Truth. And we had a donation. Where are you? Silver Country, $5. Thank you so much. All in yellow. You're the best. Silver Country, I love your tips. Every so often, I get a tip from Country. Appreciate you so much. Those of you who support the Shannon Joy Show, thank you. Go to theshannonjoy.com. Sign up for the daily newsletter. That's theshannonjoy.com. Theshannonjoy.com. Tomorrow, live around the same time, it's me and Larry Sharp. Campaign HQ, campaign headquarters. We're going to let you know about everything that's going on with the Sharp Joy run for governor of New York State. It's happening. You can get involved. I want to encourage you guys, email Patrick Corrigan today. He will plug you in anywhere in New York State. He's going to hook you up with a team, and you can get started on collecting signatures to get myself and Larry on the ballot for governor in the 2026 gubernatorial election here in New York State. So his email is pcorrigan44.com or at yahoo.com. It's pinned to the top of the live chat, and it's also in the show notes of the Shannon Joy Show. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all again right here on the Shannon Joy Show.